Hey there, I'm your host Lisowi, and this is part 2 of our crafting system. In today's video, we'll go ahead and set up the interaction system. So with that said, let's begin. Let's go ahead and open the content drawer. Now, the first thing I want to do is, let's go to the third person and create the inputs for our interaction system. So let's go to actions, and we can right click, go to input action, and call it IA_interact. Now, since we're here, we can also copy this one and create one for the inventory. So inventory, let's go back, go to your IMC_default. And in here, we want to create a new mapping for the interaction system. So interact, and one more for the inventory. So in those two, we gotta assign a key. Now, if you click the keyboard key, press anything, it'll switch it to. So for example, mouse, I want this to be the E key. And for the inventory, I want I, and I want a second input to be tab. Just easier for me to access. And once you're happy, save and exit. Next, we'll go ahead and set up the UI. So we'll right click, create a new folder called UI. And this is where we'll have all of the other UIs. So we'll right click, create a folder specifically for the interaction UI. Let's open that. Now in here, we'll right click, create a user interface, widget blueprint, use widget, and we'll call it WP_interact notify, or whatever makes sense to you. Now inside, we want a border, which we conveniently have here. So let's drag that in, and let's change this color to like a darker color, something like this. And we want a text, which we also conveniently have here. Drag this in, and I'll set the size to be 18. We want this to be variable, so we can edit it in the event graph. We'll call it txt_interact notify. Makes sense. Okay, so click on your border, fill screen to desired, and I want this to have some padding around. So we'll do something like 10,30, 30,10, just to give some area around it. You could make this larger if you'd like. So the background at the moment looks a little boring. So we'll create another folder inside the interaction UI called MUI for materials user interface. Open that, create a new material called M_interact background, whatever you want, interact notify, I'll call it as well. So inside, we want this to be a user interface, opaque to translucent. And we want to right click and get ourselves a linear gradient. From here, we want to multiply nodes. Now the shortcut is M left mouse. So let's do that. And from the U gradient, we want to go ahead and do 1-. So what this will do, this will actually invert our material. So by default, if I drag it in here, you'll see it's just from one side. So if I connect this in here, plug it into B, we get a double gradient. Now, if we plug this into here and change the strength to 4, we get the stronger center looking thingy. So we can then plug this into opacity and final color, and we get a nice thick color inside and a little less on the sides. Apply, save, and back in our widget then, we can go to the brush and set this to our material. So interact notify, and it just looks a little nicer. Now in here, I could actually change the color to be full black. Looks better. Let's compile and save this. Go to the event graph, and in here we don't need event tick, we don't need pre-construct. Construct we can use. We want to right click and do set text. Grab this first. This is the text we want to set. So set text, and the actual variable will come here. So promote to variable text notify. And we'll do is empty. Now we want to do a select node. So the select, what this will do is it will change the visibility. So set visibility of target self. So this whole widget. Let's connect this. It's kind of important. And what we'll do then is, this is the Boolean value that will go in here, and the return value will go in here. So this then enumeration gets passed in here, and we can play around with it. So if the text is empty, if that's the case, true, we want it to be gone from our screen, so collapsed. You could do hidden, but collapsed means it doesn't take up any space in the UI. So I guess good for performance. And then false, what we'll do is not hit testable, self, and all children. That means it's there, but we can't click on it. It's just for our notification. And we want one more event, custom event, and this will actually set the text. So be creative. We'll do something like update, interact, notify. And if you hold Alt and drag your variable, it will set it, grab the pin, plug it in there, it will set that too. And we can connect this in here. So how this will work is we'll actually call this event to set the text, then it will check it, is it empty or not, and then it will update the whole widget. Compile, save, and exit. So with that done, the next thing we want is to go into the content folder here and create a new folder for the interaction. So we have one interaction for the UI, and we want one for the actual blueprint stuff. So we'll right click and do blueprint class, actor component, BPC, blueprint component underscore interaction. Let's open this up. So in here, we want a few things. We'll leave event tick. If you've seen any of my previous tutorials, you've seen that I don't use event tick, but I think this actually might be handy for us. So on functions, create a new function called create interaction widget. So in here, we'll do create widget. We will select our widget we just made, so interact notify. Promote it to a variable. We want a reference to it later on, so we'll call it interact notify widget. And we'll just add it to the viewport then. Right, so that's all we gotta do here. We can then put it on begin play, because if we don't, this one, not the variable. If we don't do this on event begin play, then the actual reference will be invalid because we never set it. Next, we want to go to the functions tab and create a function called interaction trace, start interaction trace, whichever you like. So in here, then we want to get our sphere collision, sphere trace by channel. Now make sure you don't do multi. We just want a single. So in here then, for the start and the end, we'll get the owner of the component. So in our case, that will be the player. Get location, get actor location. And we'll set this for the start and the end. So it's going to be wrapped around our player. Now for the radius, you could do a set value or promote it if you want to change it later for different things. But because just our player is going to have this, I'll set it to something like 80. Then for the trace channel, we actually have our own interactive. Now make sure you are checking for interactive, otherwise we are blocking the interactive on the items, but never using it here, so it never really hits anything. If you want to test this for debugging purposes, you could run it for duration, but I know it's going to work, so I'll leave it like that. We'll then get a branch. And on out hit, I want to break this open. We are interested in this hit actor over here. We want to does object implement interface. Now the interface I want to check for, we don't actually have that right now. So it would be a good idea to open up the interaction folder, right click and create a blueprint interface. So what a blueprint interface is, it allows you to make functions and then use those functions, call them basically in other blueprints. So we'll call it BPI, blueprint interface underscore interaction. Now this is important that we add this system to our items and any interactable objects. Otherwise we don't know we're interacting with that. inside, by default, we have one function, F2 to rename, and we'll do interact with. And we want one more for the look at message. So we'll call the look at actor. And in here, the output, we want a interact notify or message. Let's do interact. Let's just call it message. So the message, it'll display text type. Save that, compile save. And because we have those in our, we have that created now, we can check for it. So BPI interaction. And we'll get another branch. So B left mouse, by the way, is the shortcut, just in case you didn't know. So there we have. Now, if it implements this, we can go ahead, drag from the actor and promote it to a variable. Call it our look at actor. So let's break the spin. Now, if it is false, if we are hitting nothing currently, because this will run constantly, this will be false, empty. Same here. If we hit something, but it's not implementing this, then it's going to be empty. Only if we've hit something and it implements this, we will promote this to a valid look at actor. Now this has to go here. So it actually has a value connected like so. And if that's the case, we then want to, what do we want to do? We want to call the message. So we'll do look at actor. That's the interface thingy function that we made there. We can also call this here. No. We don't want to call it here, actually. We want to grab our reference and set the message. Update, interact, notify. That's the custom event called made. So we're calling it here. Now this will be empty, so we won't actually display anything on our screens. And then we want to call it again on false here. And once we've set it, we can get this and plug this in here, like so. So that's our interaction system. We have a line sphere trace going through, checking for our items if they implement anything, the interaction, and if they do, we set the message. And if they don't, they're empty. Compile and save. And we want to add this to event tick so it actually runs. Next, we want to go ahead and call our interact input. So this will be the key we're interacting with. And on started, we want to get our look at actor, convert to a validated get. And if this is valid, we want to get the component by class. And we want to check for our interaction component. Our item data component. Item data, and check if it is valid. Now, before we go ahead and do this next part, we want to add the interaction component to our item data component, or interface to our item data component. So let's go to inventory, item data, open up the item data component, settings, add in our interface or interaction interface, and we want to click on interact with. So here we will have the add to inventory logic. So compile, save. Now we also want to do this for our item. So go to your items, the item actor, click on the class settings, add your interaction interface. And in here, we want the look at actor because we have the name here. So we can grab this and set up that. So we want get item data. Break this open. What do we have? This. So we'll get the row. Do this. And we set the row name here, item data. By default, this is empty because it's the parent. Break it open. We have the name. So what we can do here, let's grab all of that and plug this in now. We can set the name, so we can do a format text and do, let's see, if you do curly brackets, we can do name, close curly brackets, that becomes an input. And we also want then, let's say, curly brackets brackets quantity, brackets, curly brackets. So we'll have name go in here and the quantity, which we get from here. Get quantity, do we have item quantity? There we go. So let's grab that, plug this into quantity, and we can click on this, hide anything that's not relevant, and connect it there. So now when we look at something, we get the name and we also get the quantity that's there. So that's the look at actor, which is in our item. Compile and save. Let's head back in here. We got a little distracted. Now, because our item data component implements the interaction interface, we can call interact with message. Nope. Interact with this one here. And you can see this has a different color. It's not blue because we're calling this exactly from the component. So that's that. And we can compile and save. And just before we leave, our system here will handle items. But what if we're looking at something that's not an item? Well, in that case, we want to interact with it still. So we will get the look at actor, this guy here. And we know it's valid because it went through to this part. We'll do interact with. And there we go. That's the interaction system complete. So we can safely compile and save. So now if we add this component to our player, so let's go to third person, blueprints, person character. We'll add in our interaction component. There we go. And did we add this on event tick? Just a little check. We did. So that's going to run. Let's hit play. And if we go to an item, whoops, this is too big. We're actually missing a canvas panel. So go to UI, interaction UI, and we want to right click and wrap with a canvas panel. Click on your border, fill screen, all of that. Anchors, hold Control and Shift and select any of this to snap it to place. Size to content, and we'll just do like -100 on the Y. So that's my bad, guys. We never had a canvas panel. So now if we play, screen is empty. If we go to an item, it says iron ingot 1, stick 1. So you could, of course, go ahead and change this. So instead of saying just the name, we can go to the interaction system. And, oops, actually not that. Item, items, item actor. And instead of saying just the name, what we can do is at the very start here, we can say pick up name and quantity. The brackets, we want to be outside of the curly brackets. And just update that, compile and save. And now if we run this, we get pick up stick. And we should get pick up iron. So that's working. So this was part 2 of our crafting series. In the next episode, we'll go ahead and create the inventory. So with that said, I hope you enjoyed. And if you did, leave a like. And as always, happy developing.